Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexia, and today I wanted to talk about my sexuality. For the most part, most of my vlogs I've talked about men, so most people probably assume I'm just straight, attracted to opposite sex. I've had relations with a couple dudes, but I started off just dealing with straight women. Like, my first kiss was a female. I told you guys that. And it, at the time, it was just the little girls being grown, playing house. I'm not the only one. Almost every child goes through that phase. But I remember legit being, in first grade, doing little things with girls. I probably had my first real dealings with a female when I was 17. And I mean really call it feelings for a female. I did the little kissing and the dry humping with girls when I was young or whatever. The first time I really had sexual relations with someone, I was with a female, was going into my freshman year, and it was with my friend, and we were kind of just having fun. It was my we was literally having a sleepover. I had a sleepover. It was a summer sleepover, and we was just in her wilding. We were just in her wilding, bruh. But so I was about 14, the first time I really did something with the female, and it was my friend, and I think I was trying to practice on her, and she let me, so it was okay. I'm not gonna float my own boat, but all my life I have always been attracted to females, and then I got a little bit older and I started to become attracted to dudes, but majority of my life I was attracted to females. I've never had a girlfriend up until I was 17, but my first boyfriend, which was my son's dad, he was my first love. First person I ever fell in love with was a dude. Throughout high school, everyone knew that was my first boyfriend. Everybody knew that I lost my virginity to him. So nobody even thought oh, she's bi, whatever y'all want to call it. And especially with me having a child, it's people wouldn't just think that. And then I've always gotten you're really, you lying, you're not really gay though. You too pretty to be gay, and you're too old to be this ignorant. Honestly, it's all about you and how you interpret yourself with me. I don't really see gender. It's I've gone into friendships with a female straight up thinking we just wanting to be friends, and you just start to realize that, oh, this person is dope. Their mind is on a whole nother level. I like where your mind is at. I'm attracted to intelligence and just how your mind is set up. For a long time I never claimed it though with my family. When I was younger, I did used to dress like a tomboy, and I had my little girly days, but for the most part I dressed like a tomboy. I had every pair of Jordans. I was just always wearing varsity jackets, looking like a dude, like a little tomboy. But overly sized clothes, sweatpants. I used to just love dressing like a dude. It wasn't even I was really dressing like a guy, but I was a little cute stud, but it was I still looked like a girl. And I remember I used to post stuff, but when I was young, about being bi and stuff, but I was young and dumb, and I don't even know why I was posting stuff like that. And people used to just take it as a joke. And I remember my dad, I don't know if my dad was scoping on my stuff or if someone said it to him, and one day he did ask me. He asked me if I was bisexual, if I liked females and dudes, or if I was a lesbian or whatever. And I remember just lying to him. And there was a couple of times he had asked me, and I just lied. I don't know, being younger and being judged by older people, it's annoying. Because I'm sure you've had your experience with older people. They're very, very, very opinionated, or religious people. They're very, very opinionated. To me, you having your opinion is perfectly fine. But at the same time, people can be very ignorant, and it's ew, you're just ignorant. I don't care what you have to say because you're just ignorant. when it comes to like like my dad, like growing up, I've always heard like my dad and his friends like questioning it, and you know I have homophobic family members, but they're not like homophobic where they'll be rude to you and like treat you differently. They just don't mess with them. Like just don't overstep boundaries, you know? Like I don't rock that way, just don't overstep the boundaries and I respect you. There's dead people that are like rude. Like that will legit it'll be a person and they'll see a lesbian couple or a gay male couple and start harassing them. Like that is so wrong to so many levels. And then y'all want to throw out there how, you know, about your religions and stuff, and being children of God and da da da, and they're sinning, we're sinning, and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you can legit walk up to a complete stranger and judge them and say cruel things to them and really hurt their feelings and like really tear them apart, you're a horrible person. Like you're a bad person. You're not a child of God, because a child of God is going to let you be. It's going to respect you and your beliefs and your own without harassing them and being rude to them and treating them like they're nothing. At the end of the day, that's still another human being just like you, like that God created. So for you to sit here and tell this person that they don't belong here and da 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 da, you're ignorant. The lighting is bad, y'all. It's getting dark. I have to get an LED light. Like I really do. You know, my family, I've always heard them making jokes about it, like about lesbians and about dykes, and like, oh, if you like, why be with a dyke? Why you just don't be with a dude? Like, why don't you just mind your business? Like, that's how I be feeling. I always heard like comments like that from my dad, from my family and stuff. So it was like hard to come out to them just because I already knew how they felt about it, and it was just like overwhelming. And you know, I've had plenty of females around here that I was dealing with, but they just didn't know that I was like dealing with them. They just thought that they was just my friends because they were just like pretty girls, like girly girls and stuff. So like they just looked like, oh okay, and it's a friend. Like nobody would ever think anything. I've never actually like had a dyke or a stud over here that met my family. Have I dealt with any? Yeah, but do I prefer either or? It is either or. Like it's not like I said, it's not even about what you look like, if you're girly, if you're a tomboy, if you're just a boy. Like I told you, like it's mainly about you and your personality and who you are as a person. I came out to my brother and I just like texted him. I was just like, I gotta tell you something. He was like, you pregnant or you gay? And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, well, to make it easier, I said I am bisexual. And he was like, LOL, like I was just waiting for you to tell me. And it was like, what do you mean? He was just like, bro, I was waiting for you to tell me. Like I already knew. Like I already knew. I forget exactly what he said, but basically he was just like, he already knew, and he was waiting for me to tell him. He was just really cool about it. Like he thought it was cool because he was like, oh, now we can go out and we can talk about bitches and da 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 da. I'm just like, boy, see you for real. And you know, just coming out to my brothers wasn't hard. It was like, it just was what it was. Like it was like, oh really? Cool, like whatever. But to my dad, it was more so like harder because of the comments he has made. Like I remember him legit saying to me one day if I brought a female in the house, because he was telling me about what my dad doesn't like. He'll talk to you, he'll be cool with you, he'll be friends with you, but I don't think he ever expected it to be like one of his own. But like he was telling me about one of his little lesbian friends that just got married, and he was like, you got married? And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And he was like, that's cool. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, 2 women getting married, that's cool. And I was like, what's wrong with that? And he was like, you walk in here with a female and watch what happens. And I was just like, it was very like, it was very like discouraging. Like it was very, it didn't like hurt, but it was just like really? And I had said, well, if I do, like something like that. And he was just like, he took it as a joke, but I was like dead serious. And then like later on, I started posting about it. Like I just started coming out to everybody. Like, wasn't to my brothers. I didn't really care no more. So I used to share little posts, same sex posts, like whatever. And I think he saw that one day, and he just asked me. He just asked me if I was bisexual, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, you are, and I was like, yeah. And he was just like, it seemed like he was. It was kind of awkward because he didn't really say much, but he looked disappointed, like, and like we didn't talk. It was like a really bad conversation because I think he got upset that I was posting stuff and that I didn't actually tell him. So I think he was upset about that, but embarrassed for real. And we didn't talk for a couple of days. And then one day he just called me. He asked me if I wanted something from somewhere, and then he was just like, listen, Alexia, I love you. And I was like, I love you too. And he was like, all right. And that was it. Like, we've never talked about it ever. So it was like weird, I've never actually got serious enough with a female to bring them around to really see how my family will react. But everybody knows, I know if it happens, it happens. If I end up with a man, I end up with a man. If I end up with a woman, I end up with a woman. If I end up with a cow, I end up with a cow. Like, it's good. At the end of the day, if you really love someone, you'll accept them for how they are and what they bring. And the way I feel about others and people's opinions, like, that's cool. You're totally obligated to your opinion. But see, me, I was just raised and taught myself to just be a nice person and treat people how you want to be treated. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all, especially if it's unnecessary. You have your beliefs, I totally respect them. We do not have to agree on things to respect each other. You feel me? And the fact that there's so many people out there that are just so ignorant and rude, it makes it so hard. And I can understand why people are so scared to come out and to just be them and be themselves. And legit people in their own homes can't even be comfortable being themselves because how their family is going to come at them. Like, there's legit people whose parents do not accept that and would legit kick them out right now if they told them that they were a lesbian or gay or bisexual, whatever the case is. And I think that's sad. How do you love someone, especially parents? Like, how do you claim to love your child, but you can't accept them because of their sexuality? I've seen videos. I've seen a video that honestly really broke my heart. It was like a transgender, like a drag, and he was in church, and the pastor legit embarrassed this person. Like, really embarrassed this person. And I'm like, how do you consider yourself a child of God and you just did that to that person? I'm technically a Christian. I was baptized, but as a child, you're forced into a religion. I'm not a religious person, and neither is my family. They're not religious at all. But, like, I mean, we're not, like, super crazy religious people. Like, you know what I mean? But, like, I know what the Bible says. There's so many people out there that want to tell you that you're sinning because of your sexuality. There's just so many other things that people sin about. My thing is, I just would wish that everyone could be comfortable being them. And in this society, it's so hard. Like, it's so hard. But, like, you have to learn to not care anymore. And it took me a while to do that, but 2018 really did help me with that. Like, honestly, my biggest accomplishment in 2018 was learning self-love and accepting me for who I am and not caring what other people have to say about it. I am who I am. You are who you are. I'm not going to judge you. You judge me. That's cool. I really don't care. I love me. And so does God. Be you. Be gay. Love who you are. Love others. Just be yourself. Like, don't hide who you are for the acceptance of others. If they can't accept who you are, then they don't deserve you, period. I did want to share that with you guys, though. So that's really it. And you already know. Stay cool, stay you, and stay weird.